How do you feel when you think about new all-time highs for the silver price, for the gold price? Is it imminent? Remember the 70s and 80s? We had the space shuttle, Ronald Reagan. We even had parachute pants. But there was one thing that dominated the financial headlines of the 70s and 80s, and that was stagflation. But there was something else that happened during that period of stagflation, and that was an incredible increase in the price of silver and the price of gold. And are we again right now in a period of stagflation? And to make it even better for the price of silver and the price of gold, is there a new factor at play that could result in returns to the gold price and silver price, even in excess of what we saw in the 70s and 80s? Were you alive in the 70s and 80s? Or maybe you forgot, but the price of gold went from $40 to over $800. Silver, it did pretty well too. $1.50 all the way to $50, all because of this stagflationary environment. And you might be asking, what is stagflation? A slow economy with inflation. That is stagflation. Do we have that now? Well, we have the Federal Reserve talking about a recession, and we sure as heck know that right now we have high inflation in this country. And just like in the 70s and 80s, what happens is that narrows the menu of attractive investment options. Narrows it down till, yeah, that's right, people start to wake up like we did a while back, but more people start to wake up and realize the value of silver and gold, and that makes the silver price and gold price skyrocket. Because you don't want to be Jerome Powell when the U.S. economy is in a state of stagflation, because guess what? The old Wizard of Oz, the master of the financial universe, he is boxed in. He can't continue to raise rates because that hurts the economy. That makes the recession worse. But if he can't raise rates, he can't really fight inflation. And on top of that, the X factor, we're going to cover that. That makes matters even more challenging for Jerome Powell and his friends at the Federal Reserve. Before we cover that, I want to tell you thank you again right now. You, yes you, one and only you, decided to join me here in the basement. We love silver and gold. We love to dive a little deeper than the average bear. So if you're starting to feel like a little camaraderie, like maybe you found a new home, that's because you did. I hope you decide to come back. Please subscribe to the channel. Turn on the little bell so you get notified. Leave a comment so we can learn from you, learn about you. And if you give the video a thumbs up, that would be great. Now, what's this X factor, right? Jerome's in a box. Oh, what the heck? Let me just show you this. Don't open that box, because on this side you have a recession, and on this side you have inflation. And you know who's in the box? Our old friend Jerome. But the box has been made even more complicated because now, as compared to the 70s and 80s, we are living in a much more complex geopolitical environment. We are facing the bifurcation, the separation of the world, the BRICS nations and all their new allies who are moving away from the dollar. Jerome and the Federal Reserve, they don't have as much power. Their tools are being neutered. They can't control things like the price of oil like they could back in the 70s and 80s, and that makes the potential returns for the precious metals even greater now as opposed to what we saw in the 70s and 80s. We have even one more bonus feature, one more thing that's different now, a cherry on top for the price of gold and the silver price. We're going to talk about that. But where's all this gold going to come from? Let's hear from our sponsor, First Mining Gold. First Mining Gold is a development company advancing two of the largest gold projects in Canada. Springpole in Ontario and Duparquet, located in Quebec, each already has 5 million ounces of gold reserves, but exploration initiatives are underway at both projects to find even more gold. First Mining is well financed, has zero debt, and owns an interest in 4 additional Canadian gold development projects. What makes the potential returns on silver and gold even more exciting now is that even fewer people now own silver and gold than any other time really in history. Guys, we are an elite group. We are the silver sliver. We are a sliver of the population. We're like 1 in 200 people, right? So as people start to wake up, as that menu of attractive investment options narrows down to gold and silver, and we go from maybe 1 in 200 to, let's say, 4 in 200 or 5 in 200, we can see 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much capital coming into the silver sector, the gold sector, and the precious metals mining sector. The returns could potentially be astounding. We don't know what's going to happen for sure, but it sure is going to be interesting as we watch all of this play out. If you enjoyed this video and you want to read some of my writings on this subject, stagflation, and some other interesting topics I've covered, go over to a website called Red Rock Report. Not Red Rock Reports, Red Rock Report. I write articles for them. I've got a number of articles you can check out. It's a great website. You might benefit from giving it a look. Take care, and I'll see you next time.